Oklahoma. It's full of dusty back roads. And that's where you'll find the hard-working people of this great state. So maybe it's time to travel down one of those dusty roads in search of real leadership for State Senate District 6.
You know, what I've noticed is that the firemen are the ones running into the fire. The policemen are the ones running to the danger. The highway patrol run after the bad guys. Somebody's got to go up and fight for the people up in Oklahoma at the Capitol. So I'd like to tell my story about who I am and where I come from. You know, I went to school in Fort Worth. That's where I was born and raised. I was down in Fort Worth, Dallas area. And I went to school at Western Hills High School and was saved at a young age, but I knew at that point I wasn't living right. And my senior year in high school, I was in a car accident, and a rough one, where I was thrown out of the back window. But God taught me something in that's one of those spiritual markers in my life that I've always looked back to and said, why did God save me? And some years later, my dad talked to me about that and said, you know, David, I believe God saved you because he has a purpose for your life, something that he wants you to do. And so I've always paid attention to that. So later on in my life, I decided it was time for me to go get a degree. My mom played a real pivotal role in that because my mom was the one who steered me towards teaching. And she told me, you love studying the foundations and the government and all of those things. And she said, why don't you think about that? So I thought about it and prayed about it, and I said, that's it. That's what I want to do. And so I moved from Fort Worth area to here to Durant, Oklahoma, to finish my degree at Southeastern and become a teacher. And my first year teaching, I thought people who did that more than once were crazy. And so my wife was the one at that point who was another spiritual marker, because my wife said, you're doing good, just stay with it, just stay with it. So I did. So I stayed in with teaching and started teaching. I've been doing it 14 years now, and I love it. I love watching kids' minds light up, and I love really challenging kids that have been told their whole life maybe they're not very smart. And I love being able to teach the truth and work and challenge those kids. And that's been a huge spiritual marker. So later on in life, I got approached by some deacons at the church that I go to here at Fairview, and they asked me if I would consider being a deacon, and boy, that scared me. I was young and wasn't real sure about that, and so I started really studying and prayed and thinking about that, and I decided that would be, I believe God was calling me to do that for a reason. And then a few years after that, my pastor came to me and talked to me about speaking about the Constitution and about what I teach at school and how I teach about the founders. And boy, that made me nervous too, because I never have been real big on teaching in front of big crowds of people. But I said, you know, if that's what the Lord's pushing me to do, I'll say yes and do it. So I decided that I would go ahead and do it, and I taught a class on the Constitution. And man, that was fun. I really enjoyed getting to talk to people and meet people and talk to them about my passion and what I love to do. And all this time, what God's been doing is raising me up and teaching me and preparing me to do this.
David Bullard, not a politician, but a true patriot.